the summer of 2008, my platoon was sent up north in northeastern Afghanistan to set up a new vehicle patrol base for the oncoming unit. We had my platoon, we had a few Marine embedded troop trainers, so they worked with the Afghan Army. We had some combat engineers out there with us too that came out there to start the construction project. On the morning of the 13th, at approximately 4:30, my squad leader and I, we were walking around, we were sergeant the guards for making sure everybody was awake, checking on the perimeter. We had seen some guys come down a ridge line, so we were aware of them. I went back to start eating some breakfast when machine gun fire and RPGs erupted. They had approximately 200 and we had 45. Basically, you just picked a spot and you started shooting. You looked for muzzle flashes, you looked for Taliban fighters, you just began engaging them. From the beginning of the firefight up until about the point that we went up there, it was just a constant barrage of fire that they were taking. Everything was destroyed. All the equipment was destroyed. A lot of our guys were laying there. They had been killed. I then went around and started taking ammo off of our KIAs and checking to make sure that they weren't still alive. It's difficult to do that, but you know that there are other people that still depend on you. That's what you can't, as hard as it was to do that, you have to keep fighting. It didn't hit right then and there for me. I mean, I found one of my friends, Hovader. I told him that I loved him before taking some of his equipment from him. And I got teary-eyed during it, but you can't let that stop you. We knew that we couldn't leave that position. We couldn't leave our fallen. So our Lieutenant Jonathan Brostrom and Specialist Jason Hovader were the first wave of reinforcements to go to the OP, an observation post. So it's the highest point that we have to kind of observe everything in the valley that we were in. And shortly after getting up there, they were killed. Up at the OP, we also had a machine gun nest we called the Crow's Nest. Once I distributed ammo, kind of talked to my squad leader real quick about what was going on, I went into the Crow's Nest, and that's where I found Jonathan Ayers. And Ayers had been shot several times, and he kept firing, and eventually he passed away. So I kind of picked him up, straddled him under his arms, and sat him against, I'd lift him up off of the 240, sit him up, kind of just, hey buddy, it'll be okay. And he was gone at that point, but I grabbed the new belt of ammo and put it in the 240 and began engaging guys that were directly across from me in a building. And then I don't remember how long it had been that was going on, but I just happened to look over to my left and I saw an orange flash, and that was an RPG that had come in. And then a few more RPGs hit, and I was blown up and out of that position. And I came back down into the main area of the OP. And I looked down and I saw that the bone was sticking out of my right hand. And I could feel my hip had been hurt. I could feel my foot had been hurt, that my back. My right eardrum had been blown out at that point. And then I heard my squad leader yelling to see if everybody was okay, and I ended up crawling over and finding him. So out of the five of us alive up there, Garcia eventually passed away. Once air support arrived, and the tide of the battle started turning in our favor once air support arrived. And it was phenomenal to see the Apaches come in, to have the A-10s coming in and doing gun runs for us. It was an amazing feeling. And now once that happens, now you can, it's not a calming, but you're like, okay. Our battalion took several casualties during our deployment, from our first platoon to us. I at least wanted to get something, and the reason I chose to do my arm with it was that when I'm out and people see it, and they ask what all the names are, I at least get to take a few minutes to tell them about the guys that we lost. Here are the names. We lost 11 during our deployment. 2 of them were Kaler and Blaskowski were from separate incidents. The other 9 were from the day that I got injured. So I got all of their names and banners. I got our unit patch, which is the wing and the sword. I got the Punisher skull. We were the Chosen Company Punishers. I also got John 15:13, which is greater love hath no man to lay down his life for his brother. I think the most important thing to know is that you have guys that are willing to go out there and put themselves in harm's way to make sure that we can enjoy everything that we have here, kind of like what we do here at the Orlando Police Department. We ask to go out there and put ourselves in danger so the citizens of Orlando can sleep safely at night, that they can enjoy what the city has to offer. It's no different than being in the military.